Ready? Right, so here we've got Ted, 5 years in the Royal Navy, 30 years in the Fire Brigade, and I'm not going to lie, probably a bit of a hero, lad, to say the least. But you're obviously going to say no to that. But I'm not going to lie, Ted, I've been looking forward to this, so far. I really have. Ever since you started talking to me, Dad, and he said that you were interested in coming on, I've probably been looking forward to this chat. So you're all right anyway, first of all. So a little bit about yourself, because obviously we've never met before and stuff like that. Who are you? What have you done? How are we here today? Just a little bit of insight to you before we get going properly.
My name's Ted Donnelly.
Yeah.
I'm 59.
What?
Yeah. And I say I used to be in the Royal Navy. I was in the Royal Navy, left school.
Yeah.
Been stayed in the Royal Navy 5 years. Come out of the Royal Navy, done little bits and bobs, and then found myself in the Fire Brigade.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, the Fire Brigade stuff, I wasn't really interested in Fire Brigade or nothing like that. Some fella just went out, there's jobs going there.
Yeah.
Got a couple of forms, me and my mate filled them in, applied, and I got in and he never, basically, and that was it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But on there, just on 30 years there, that was brilliant. Just brilliant. Obviously, the group of lads that I was with, they just made it. You know what I mean? It depends on who you're with, but at first I'd say, but as you grow into the job, it doesn't matter who you're with, because you make your own sort of, you've got your own identity sort of thing, you know what I mean?
Is it because everyone comes in, is it because everyone that comes in have got the same purpose, or they all want to be there, so you meet a lot of the same people?
Yeah. I think being a firefighter, I'd call them now, being a firefighter, you've got to want to save people's lives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't want to go there and not do anything, you know what I mean? You just want to do things.
Yeah.
As in Fire Brigade stuff, you know?
Well, what is a normal day then for a firefighter? Because obviously if people watch films, TV shows, you think the bell rings, they run down this pipe or slide down it, they run to this big fire building, they put it all out, save people. Is that an actual firefighter, or is it completely different to what you see?
I've been out now 5 years, so it's probably changed more in them 5 years than
it did in your 30.
Yeah. Say it's very political now at the fire service, and but a normal day when I was in, you'd go in and you'd do your checks, do your daily routines and this, that and the other, and you'd go through your ordinary working day, and then in between your working day you'd get different shouts to different incidents,
What was some of the incidents at the beginning of the job for you So you've went in, and obviously the first call's gone, or first couple of calls are gone. Was it a bit of a take back for yourself? Fucking hell, this is a lot.
I was I was in my late 20s when I joined, and I'd been in the Royal Navy, so it's not that you knew what to expect, but you could handle it, if you know what I mean. I can understand that an 18-year-old going in on his first shout and his nerves are gone and all this, that and the other. Don't get me wrong, it's still adrenaline there, because that's what you operate on, isn't it? But I think I had a little bit more about me because of my experience in the Navy and that,
What differs between, before we go further with the Fire Brigade, just go back to the Navy, what was the differences or the similarities that both jobs had in land?
The big similarities was the camaraderie.
Yeah.
That you had with when you were in the Navy, you obviously on a ship. And you didn't know everyone, you know what I mean? But the camaraderie was there, and you had each other's back. And what I done on the ships, I used to work down below, the engine room, boiler room, and all that. And you were the firefighters on the ship.
Yeah.
So that come in handy when I applied for that job, you know what I mean, for the firefighting job. Yeah. And the same goes in firefighting. You've got each other's back. You've got to have each other's back. Yeah.
I can imagine that to be a big factor. The line of work I currently do at the minute is working in a SEN school, we spoke about before. Yeah. But obviously where we have to do maybe a team teach or stuff like that. So that's just keeping people safe with a hold. That's the exact same. Obviously, not to the extent that you have gone through.
Yeah.
But it's like you have to have each other's backs, otherwise the system doesn't work.
Yeah.
And that's I can imagine that to be a big factor.
Yeah, he's talking lives as well.
Yeah.
Possibly be on the line, you know what I mean? If you haven't got each other's back. So, yeah, you've got to not necessarily build up that camaraderie. It's just got to be there instantly, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because you can realise, well, you can imagine what the consequences would be if you didn't have each other's back.
Yeah, because it literally is, like you said, it's life or death.
Yeah.
Like in one situation. And is that a job where you can't second guess a moment or something? You have to just act kind of thing, because it could be like that life-threatening for some situations.
Yeah, well, there's routines in place, obviously. Like, you know, like if you go to a certain incident, you've got to go through this, and this in order to get to there.
Yeah.
So you've got to stick by the rules, if you will, like, you know. You can't just go random, maverick, or something like that, because that's just mad, isn't it? You know what I mean? Although there has been time, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's all about teamwork.
Yeah. Well, what would you say then? Because you're talking about like instance and like you have to have like certain things. If you went to both ends of the scale, what's like the most common instance that you went to? But like, what were like the most rare ones that you also went to?
Just a proper mixture. Obviously, everyone thinks burning buildings.
Yeah.
Houses on fire with people in. That's what I loved personally. Not so good for the people on the inside, obviously, you know what I mean? But that's what I liked. And then you've got your road traffic accidents, and your train incidents and stuff like that. Like, you know, but you just get on with it, basically.
Was it a job that you did love going to every day? Like you woke up in the morning and you thought,
"Oh, I love my job." Yeah, I loved it. My bird used to say, "Oh, sorry, you can't say bird."
I can't say bird. You have to say partner.
Yeah. My wife used to say to me, "I've never known someone as mad, keen on going to work as yourself." And like I said that to the lads in work, and they said their other halves used to say the same to them, because it used to be a laugh. You know what I mean?
That's a big factor, though, isn't it, of work? Because like, for instance, go back, if you bring it to me, I love going to work. I love my job. I've never loved a job before. And that's like the biggest thing. Like me, our fellow says, that's the biggest win of having a job.
Yeah.
You love going there.
Yeah.
You want to go there and make a difference.
Yeah. But it depends as well, Lou, on the people that you work with, obviously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Trust me, I know that at the minute.
And the people I worked with, they were all just brilliant.
Yeah.
Dead funny. Honestly, you just had a ball. You know what I mean? And they knew that every one of them knew the job. If you can get that right first, know your job inside out, then there's room to start having a laugh and stuff like that. And that's what we done. We may be professional at all times, but if you can have a laugh doing it, you cracked it, haven't you?
Yeah. Now, what you're saying, like how much you loved your job and that, and you were in there for 30 years, where was the moment that you thought, in a sense, like footy players, right, I'm hanging up my boots, like that? Like, where was your moment?
When I got to 55.
Yeah.
When I joined, I said to myself, I'm going at 55, because that was the option, you know what I mean? There's all kinds of different options now. You can go when you're 50, this many years in, blah, 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 and all that, but I already had in my head, 55, I'm going.
Yeah.
And by the time I arrived at 55, all them lads that I was talking about that we used to have a laugh with, most of them had gone anyway.
Yeah.
So we had an influx of young kids that you didn't know. God loved them, like, you know what I mean? But
It weren't the same.
it just wasn't the same. And plus your body tells you as well. Like, for all them years, I rode in the back of the fire truck. I didn't drive or nothing like that, or get promoted or anything like that. Because I wanted to sit in the back. That's what I'd done, you know.
How come you wanted to sit in the back?
Again, adrenaline junkie sort of thing, you know. And you wanted to pass, because when I first joined, you learned from older members of the fire service, and they passed on their knowledge to you. And that's what I wanted to do to the young kids coming in, you know. I realised that they've got to have someone here that can pass some knowledge on, you know.
Yeah.
But as I got to 55, I went, now, I had it in my head that I was going to retire anyway. All the lads had gone. Most of the lads had gone anyway. And my body was sort of, I can't do this every day, lad.
Yeah.
Sort yourself out. So that was that.
Do you not think about going part-time?
You can do, like,
Can
you
you?
can do, yeah. A lot of lads have been asked back. And a lot of lads have gone back to work in the training school part of things and all that. I don't know how it works now because I've been out like 5 years. So, looking back at being a firefighter, for me now, it's just a job that I did.
Yeah, I can fully imagine that, but then...
But while you're in it, it's the most important thing in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That is it. Like, I'll explain to people, like, I'll try and relate myself as much as I can. Where, obviously, what I said, I work in an autistic school, like, to people I'll say, I'm just a teaching assistant and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's the actual groundwork and every day being in there, you realise how important that job is.
Of course, yeah.
And I can only imagine that for yourself as well.
Yeah.
Where you go to people, I'm a firefighter. Obviously, people might think burning buildings and stuff like that off the films, but...
There's a lot more to it.
Yeah, it's also, like, mentoring as well. Like, I'd say, like, because I'm big on that, like, with the kids. I love being, like, trying to be a mentor and help them grow.
Yeah.
So I can imagine you, when you
sitting
became
in the back,
more of a senior role in there, that you was able to then bring them up. I know, don't do this. Make sure you do it like that. And stuff like that, and just guide them in the right way. Because essentially, you're leaving, like, your legacy with them, and then they've got to then carry on and protecting the streets and keeping people safe.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So, after you left the fire brigade and you retired, that was it. How did you feel after it? Like, 30 years is now over, but you still got 30 years still sitting with you.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying. First thing people say, do you miss it? And I'll go, no, because all the lads had gone then by then. You know what I mean? If all the old lads were there, I wouldn't have retired, basically. You know? But do I miss it? No, I don't miss it. Yeah. Because I've done that. Yeah. You know? New chapter, new page, whatever you want to call it. Let's get out there and do that, like. You know?
Well, is there any part that still sits with you mentally from it? Like, instance that happened?
Well, we're on a men's mental health podcast at the moment. Yeah. And that's what I'm here to mainly speak about, to be honest with you. And my mental health worsened as a result of being a firefighter, being in the Royal Navy. I do some volunteering with, because I'm a veteran, military veteran. I do some volunteering with Liverpool veterans, which is just up St Domingo Road up there, you know.
Oh, just up in Anfield? Yeah. Oh, I don't know it's that close.
So I do some volunteering with them, and a fact I got from them was, like PTSD, which I've got, it doesn't kick in to like 10, 15, 20, 25 years after the event.
Really?
It can take that long.
Yeah.
And it happened to me about 20 years into my career, sort of thing. Just over 20 years. Yeah. And then I come to the realisation that, hang on, something wrong here. I need help, you know. So I went to the job, and they've got mental health system in place, but it's just tick box stuff, Lou, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can
it's
imagine that.
It's just tick box stuff. I only found out this later on as I delved deeper into the mental health side of things, you know, the help that you can get or you can't get. So basically they give you 6 sessions with a counsellor. Yeah. Now, 6 sessions with a counsellor is nothing. That,
no, it's not. I had a lot more than that, but a private, you need more.
Yeah, it's nothing at all. So I'm a great believer in, as I said to you before, if you realise that you need help, I'm a great believer in going, help me. Yeah. With open arms. And you've got to want to receive that help.
Yeah, that's a big factor.
Yeah, you've got to want to receive that help. Because if you don't want, if you're going into a counselling session or whatever, and go, I can't be asked, to be honest with you, or whatever, you know, you waste, first of all, you're wasting someone else's spec. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you're not doing yourself any favours, are you? So I go to the counselling, and she went, and she was good. She went, I think we've hit a glass ceiling here. So that can't seem to get any further. Yeah. Can I mention to you EMDR?
What's EMDR?
Or EDMR. EDMR. It's eye eye movement desensitization processing.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah.
EMDR.
Close
whatever.
enough.
Yeah. And it's to do with the brain. Like frontal cortex, back, all this, that, and the other. And this fella come in, give me a questionnaire, and he said to me, he said, you've got PTSD and you're manically full of anxiety and depression and all this, that, and the other, through the job that you've done.
Yeah.
I said, oh, thanks for that. So what they do is, they delve into what the traumatic experiences that you've had.
Yeah.
And while you're doing that, sometimes they're like that, and the eyes move. And while the eyes are moving side to side, your brain is working, and you're answering these questions at the same time. So it does something up here.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly
Something
what it does.
scientific that we won't know.
Google it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had to Google it. But it worked. And it worked so well. It was unbelievable. So much so that I went back to the fire service, because they were saying to me, how long do you want off? When are you coming back? Trying to force you back to work, basically.
Is this still after retirement as well, or just before?
No, this was before I retired.
Before you retired, sorry, yeah.
So they called me in for a review, and I told a strip off them, to be honest. I said, yeah, I'll give you half an hour in my shoes. And I told them what happened and all this, that, and the other. And I said, and you give people 6 sessions with a counsellor. It's no good. It's just no good. You've got to recommend this EDMR. You've got to. So I think they put a few fellas on it after me shouting and that, like, it worked the street. But also, again, you've got to accept that with open arms as well.
Yeah.
You know. Also, in the veterans, they had equine therapy. Have you heard of that?
No, what's equine therapy?
With horses.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was lucky enough to get on that as well.
Yeah.
And that's like a 6-week course. And you sort of like write a little resume of yourself. And they try and pair you with a horse that's had the same problems. Get on that.
What?
Yeah. Horse that's been stressed out, or been through this or been through that, and what have you. So you sort of meet up.
Is that because, like, literally the black and white answer, or because you've both gone through stuff, you can both feel that connection together, and then you have, like, that bond, which
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And, like, you spend, like, 6 weeks grooming a horse, walking it round. You don't do any riding horses or nothing like that, which I had a bit of a cob on with. They said, basically, he's too fat. I said, John May must be about 26 stone.
Yeah.
I'm only 24. But anyway, at the end, that horse sort of trusts you. You get that bond together. And what you do a thing called join up. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
You're in the middle with a whip, and the horse doesn't have to do anything. If the horse doesn't like you, it won't do anything. It will not do a tap. So you give it one of them. So it's running around that way. I gets up a fair clip, like, you know, it's running around. And then you change over, and you can change its direction. And it runs around this way. And you do that for a few times and all that. Then you put your whip down, and the horse stops and walks towards you.
Yeah.
It just walks towards you, right? And you pass its head and all that. Come on, lads, or whatever. This, that, and the other. And you turn round, and you walk away, and the horse follows you like a dog. Honest to God, mate, it's unbelievable. It's really emotional, you know what I mean? I've done this. Because you're going through your mental health crisis, and at the end of it, you've got a great big, however many stone horse following you round like a dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's because you've built that, though, as well, isn't it?
Well, that's the whole point of the exercise. You've come here thinking you're worthless, or there's no point, or your head's all over the place, and you've actually created a bond with a horse who's now your mate, who's following you around. And, like, it's brilliant, honest to God. Stable Lives, it's called, up in Parbold.
Yeah.
Brilliant, excellent. Anyone with mental health problems Well, I started, what is it? Sending firefighters with mental health problems there. I invited the fire brigade to come down and see what happens. And he went, oh yeah, great, that in it, brilliant. They were made up with it and everything. And then he went, no, we can't do it. Too much money. And I went, oh no.
Everything always comes down to money though, which is
so I'm saying to the fella, I'm saying, all right, that man is or woman is suffering with mental health problems. They'll be off work for 6 months on full pay. So you're getting nothing out of them.
Yeah.
So send them on this 6-week course and I'll almost guarantee you that they'll be back in work within a couple of months.
Yeah.
Where's the problem there? So you'll be saving money in the long run.
Yeah, you will be, because then you'll be getting the work out of them for the months that they come back.
Yeah. But it's not all about that. I only put that to them on a monetary sort of thing, like, you know what I mean?
But you're looking at it from the perspective of they're going to get better.
Yeah.
They're going to want to be alive. They're going to want to come to it. They're going to feel good again.
Absolutely fantastic, honest to God. And like that was about what? 7-8 years ago that I first done that.
Yeah.
And I can still go back to that stables because they invite you back to come down when you want and everything. And I can go to that horse. The horse called Flora. I'll show you it in a minute on a thingy, on a phone. You go in it, where's Flora? Oh, they're in the field. So you've got to go in the field and get them out the field. Yeah, because it's, what do you call it, bridal or whatever.
Yeah.
And one of the girls from the stables, they'll go with you. You got to wear a hat and all that, like. And she went, you'd be lucky getting Flora in. So I went, and I shouted at her, again like a dog. I was eating grass for England, just went. I just walked over, and the girl was like, you're joking me. I went, yeah, watch this. I just went like that to her, and walked, and she started following me. She went, oh no, did he remember you, mate? Never mind elephants. They just properly remember you, and it's so emotional, honest to God. It's like seeing your mate that you haven't seen for ages, now then and all that, like, and they communicate with their eyes and their ears and all. It's just on another level, completely is.
Because they are like really intelligent animals, horses, aren't they? Like to their own extent.
They can sense when there's a problem.
Can they?
Yeah. When you're down or whatever, they'll sense there's a problem.
Do they sense it then like the same way we would be able to sense like the environment or something, like a vibe in the room? So you walk in, you go, it's a bit tense in here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, can they sense that? Do you reckon that way?
Yeah, not half.
Yeah.
As
I say, I've never thought that about horses.
But that equine therapy, even yourselves, if you're thinking about doing it, just give us a shout and I'll sort of get you on it.
Would you also recommend that equine therapy to people that also don't have mental health problems because of what you can get off it as well? Or would you say it's mainly down that route of mental health?
I've never known anyone without mental health problems going for equine therapy, because it's a therapy, isn't it? If you haven't got a problem, you don't go for the therapy. I don't know. Do you?
So it's just interesting to ask, because obviously whoever's watching this, obviously by the time it's out, might be thinking, I want to go and do that. Because it might be their way of going to get into horse riding or something like that, like in that sense, but it's a more calmer way of going into it.
Yeah, but I think that's like, you get the other side, that if you just want to go and mess with horses, you can go down to riding school or whatever, that side of things, you know what I mean? But if you've got, especially a mental problem, mate, and you go on a therapy course, it's brilliant.
Would you say it literally comes underneath the category of life-changing?
Yeah, definitely. It sorted my head out good style. The EMDR sorted my head out. The counselling did to a certain extent. Yeah. But I say, you only got to a certain level with that. And you're looking for something more. You know, more. I need more help here. I appreciate you're trying to give me help, but I need more. And that's why the counsellor recommended that EMDR stuff. And that was brilliant for me. That I'd recommend that to anyone. Yeah. And then through the veterans, I got onto the equine therapy. So that's 3 sets of therapy. Yeah. And it all done me the world of good. But you'd only get that help if you want that help. That is
the thing that people need to accept. Is like, not that there is help out there, it's that they need to get help. So when I was going through all mine, I was kind of refusing it because I wanted to sort my head out. I always remember saying, I can't remember, I think it was to my dad or someone. I was like, I've gone into this naturally. Like, my mental state just came from natural things. I want to get out of it naturally.
Yeah.
So I always just tried to do it that way.
Yeah.
But then I realised I can't. Like, I couldn't. And obviously, that's not everyone. There will be people that can do it. But I was one of them. I couldn't do it. I needed to be able to go and receive help. But that was a therapist, going to see a GP. I ended up going onto tablets for it. Because obviously, they always say, like, mental health is a chemical imbalance in the brain. And these certain tablets help you. Which they did, to be fair. But then a lot of them for me came from going to the gym and going through physical exercise. But I'm not gonna. I've never heard of NDR. I've never heard of the horse therapy. I've never heard of anything like that. And the fact that you've gone through all that, and been like, that's changed my life. Like,
if I can tell you, what actually happened to me. I'm safe in going over this because I've got my coping strategies and I've processed the stuff now. That's what the EMDR stuff does. It processes stuff. Like, I had memories of jobs and like traumatic incidents and all that and what have you that I hadn't processed. And I think processing something is like, I can talk to you about a certain incident that's not very nice. And go, and we done this and I done that and remember that kid and or whatever, this, that and the other. And then we can go our separate ways and I can put that to bed. That's processed. That's a processed sort of memory. Now, if it's unprocessed, I'll talk to you about it and that'll sit with me for weeks and weeks and it'll instantly put me on a downer. Bang, right down there. So the EMDR stuff was all about processing all them traumatic experiences. But the way it started for me, I went to bed one night and just out the blue, couldn't get asleep. I went, wonder how many fatalities I've had in the job. And I started counting them. And I got to different totals every time. No, it's not 27. Last time he counted it was 32. So what have you missed? So I'll go over them again. Go over them again. Go over them again. And then I started categorising them. House fires, road traffic accidents, miscellaneous. Go over them, go over them, go over them. Again, different totals. This went on for 6 months. I never slept.
Was this like every night as well?
Every single night. And like, you go, I'm going to bed now, God, I hope that doesn't happen again, you know what I mean? But it did. And anyway, it got even worse when the fatalities that I was counting and thinking about, their eyes were opening, they were waking up. So I had the feeling of, God, I haven't done enough here, and I should have done this, and I should have done that. And basically, the counselling I received through EMDR and stuff like that, and what have you, is, listen, you've done your best there. You know, I'm sure them people that appreciate, although they're dead now, appreciate you doing your very, very best to help them. It hasn't worked, or they were already gone when you got there, or whatever, like, you know what I mean? So don't be beating yourself up. So I had to, these were unprocessed thoughts. Along with other stuff as well, because I've been a Falklands in the Navy, and there was little bits of stuff that happened there that I hadn't processed, that I didn't even know about. So when I processed this stuff, everything sort of settled down and all that. I done the equine therapy, that helped. And I don't know if it's me or whatever, anything that could help, I'd go and do. Like, I took up art, I do art now. Like, they're coping strategies, you know. You can get negative and positive, can't you? Negative coping strategies, take to the ale.
That's a big one that people go to.
Whatever, They're coping strategies, but entirely in the negative. When you get sober, it's still there. You know what I mean?
Would you say that's a coping strategy or just like a plaster over it?
But it's a negative. It is a coping strategy because it makes you forget about everything. No, you know, if you take drugs or the ale or whatever, just want to forget about everything. So it's a coping strategy, but it's a negative one. Makes you into an alcoholic or a drug addict. And,
So
it's still, and the thought is still there.
Yeah. So it's more detrimental to your health, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
So the positive strategies would be like going to the gym.
Yeah.
Going for walks, going for runs, taking up art, like I've done. You know, finding something to do. Like the equine therapy and all that.
It's finding purpose.
Yeah.
Is like what I found in a lot of that. So, like when you mentioned walks, when I started doing, started going walks with my mates, and obviously we're in Kenny. So we'd walk down West Abbey Road, walk loads of times around Crocky Park.
Yeah.
We'll go down by Queen's Drive, and we'll just walk. And there's times we'll go walking for like 7 hours. We'll just go walking, just talking, grab a subway while we're out.
Yeah.
But we found purpose in that because we were getting fit, we were trying to lose weight. We were focusing on getting steps, so we had a number, we had a target to go for.
Yeah.
We were out with each other.
And plus, when you're talking swaddle or you think swaddle, you're actually counselling each other.
Yeah, and
Like-
you don't even
like-
know it.
I'm getting counselled here. You ask me these questions, and I'm made up with that. Like, you know, I'm sort of getting things out there. And like, if my whole aim of this, I was telling you, Dad, is to come on here and let people know what I've been through. And you're not on your own.
No, not
No
in the
one's alone.
slightest.
But when you're in it, you think
feel
you
it.
are.
Yeah.
And that's horrible, that, mate.
Did you ever feel like, because I felt like this, but I won't say it just until you answer, did you feel like you was a burden when you were going through it? Like, you were on your own and people don't like you, or people are like quite annoyed because you're not yourself? Because that's what I felt like. I felt like I'm the only person going through this right now. Everyone else seems to be happy. I'm just going to stay out the way because they don't want to be around me.
Yeah, that's it. You thought you was a negative person.
Yeah, literally.
Like I was talking to you before about surround yourself with positive people. Get involved in positive surroundings.
Yeah.
If you surround yourself with negative people, you come down. But there are times when there's going to be negative people there because they're telling you their troubles and whatever. You're trying to help them. We can't fix anyone. No one can fix anyone.
No, it's what you're saying. You've got to be with there with open arms. You've got to accept it. If people are closed arms, then they're not going to accept it.
But yeah, the reason I've come on here, Luke, to be honest, is to share my story and like make people realise that they're not on their own. Here's me, a big area ass firefighter. We had to lose all that. You know, you're not a big area ass. You're just a human being doing an extraordinary job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's all you are. You're still a person at the end of the day. You know? What else was I going to say there? Yeah, I found that the stuff that I went through there, I was telling you about the bodies and all this and the other. I used to stand up at union meetings because when I realised I've got a problem here, I went down the route of counselling, MDR, equine therapy and all that, and I got help. And I realised it was sort of sorting my head out. So I was getting like fixed in a sort of way. So I knew for a fact that there were people in the fire service that were like me. So I used to stand up at union meetings and tell me story. And like, people would come up afterwards and go, Ted, I'm going through sort of the same thing. He said, but I thought I was the only one. I said, well, that's it. You think you're the only one? You're not. There's loads of people out there. And they're like saying, like, thank God for that. You know, you can see the relief in their faces, you know what I mean?
It's like, how can I say, because I was thinking, what you said, to go back, is to come forward here. In the Navy and in the fire brigade, you've got to have like that. It's like a band of brothers in a sense, where you've all got to be on the same page. You'll all be there for the same purpose. If you went to like them meetings, even like union meetings, equine therapy, EMDR, everyone's there for the exact same reason as well. So do you reckon that you still have that same type of connection with people in them places than what you did when you was working?
Yeah. Even more so, to be honest with you, because you're all aiming towards the same thing.
Yeah.
And you've all realised that something's not right, you know?
When did you... So, sorry, go ahead, carry on.
No, to realise that is a step in itself.
Yeah.
Massive step. The realisation of knowing something's wrong here, you know? Having that thought, it's massive.
Yeah.
The next thing is, I've got to do something about it. And that's another step, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I remember when I realised it, I think I've mentioned this on one of the other episodes, but I realised that I was always tired And like I was thought, I don't know why I'm always tired. I work night shifts at the time. I thought I'm always tired here, but I just let that go on for months and for months, for months. And I was like, I'm really not enjoying going to work here. And then I was losing interest in things. I was like, I haven't got the attention span right now to be going to this. I just kind of want to just sit here. But I had no idea what was going on at the minute.
Yeah.
And it got worse. I was like, I'm getting tired, but I'm not sleeping as much now. And it just kept creeping and creeping to the point where I was like, something's not right with me.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know what it is. And I was like, I can't imagine what this is either. So I carried on with it and all that. Tried to speak to people. No one really knew what was going on. And I was like, something's not right with me. Like, it's getting worse. It's getting bigger. And I felt like something was kind of like enclosing on me, like an actual like dark figure or whatever. Like I didn't want to be around people. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I wanted to keep myself contained. And like I started realising like that's what my depression was.
Yeah.
And I was like, something, I need to change now.
Yeah.
Like I need to do something here about it.
Yeah.
And that's where then I started speaking out. But a lot of that happened for me was through COVID.
Yeah.
Because everyone was off. And like on one of the other episodes, someone said like, because we also work together in the own bargain warehouse in the Lancs.
Yeah.
He went, I'm getting up here, I'm going to work at 5, 6 in the morning, I'm coming home 2 in the afternoon, and we've got fucking Julie still lying there in the sunbed lounge while I'm in this big massive warehouse. And I was like, I feel the same. Because I was going to work, working all night, streets are empty, come home, couldn't leave the house. I was like, fucking hell, like this is heavy, this, like. I feel like I'm the only person in the world at the minute who's going to work, even though I was working with hundreds of people.
Yeah.
But it gets to that point though where you are like, I realise now, I'm not right. I can't be this big brave fella anymore or whatever. I can't push this aside because this is going to eat me up. And that's where it was. It was eating me up. And then that's where I said before, the walk started happening. Yeah. Then the gyms opened.
Well, don't you feel sorry for stopping you there, Liz, but don't you feel sorry for people who can't realise that?
Yeah, that's why you're on here today, and that's why I'm starting this.
Yeah,
to show people that
you're not on your own, and
you're not on your own, and it's not
the best thing to do, mate. As well, I think, is talking about stuff.
It is.
There's so many people. I know it's all on the telly. It's good to talk all this, that, and the other, what have you. But it really is. Mm-hmm. You've got to sit down, put your cards on the table. You know. Be straight.
Yeah.
Say what you want to say. Mm. You know, and it's just like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
So you start taking that sort of view in life. Well, no, I don't agree with that, or no. Whereas before you go and keep stuff in and whatever, just just let things go.
Yeah, because I went through like a big thing. Like I know where we spoke in the past few weeks, we say don't do most of social media, so we haven't saw them. But I'll send them to you if you want. Yeah. But I started doing like videos on like how to improve your mental health and like do 10 steps to do it like this.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people took to it, like a lot of people. And I was so surprised. And I was surprised by the names that were coming up saying, I've been going through the same thing. And where you were saying about you went to the union stuff, told your story, people spoke to you. I was having loads of people messaging me going, mate, like that's helped me out so much, you know, like I'm thank you for that. It is like you get really feeling. Emotional off it, even if you don't like actually shed a tear, you feel like this moment of like pride,
elation,
and like you feel like I've done something really good there, like I could have changed someone's life. So talking about changing someone's life just because I've looked at it and popped in my head. We've currently got a mate, he lives in Australia at the minute, but he's coming back next year. But if you ever want to take this book, you're more than welcome to. It's called The Peaceful Page. Yeah. And all it is, it's just a load of quotes. That's all it is. Yeah. No, nothing big, nothing fancy. Just loads of quotes in there. And he told us that book saved someone's life.
Yeah. Things, mate.
Yeah, it is absolutely. It's mental that talking about things.
And you telling a story. Yeah. If you tell a story about yourself and people might go, I don't know, the way people think, you're not inside anyone's mind. People might go, well, I'm not really that bad then, am I? Or, yeah, I can relate to what's going on with him, or, you know. And then if they come and talk to you, that's another bonus, isn't it? You know?
It's absolutely huge.
Yeah, the payoffs in this are immense, aren't they? You know what I mean?
And like stuff like this, whether that's talking with your mate on the couch or something on a Friday night, just having a chat, like even something like that, that's one of the best things you can do.
Yeah,
going out for a walk, like I said, going to union meetings, doing a podcast.
Yeah.
It's it's so easily done physically, but mentally it's so hard to overcome that barrier.
Yeah.
To speak out.
I think as well, I don't know about yourself, Lou, but I think you've, to a certain extent, you've got to have been there.
Yeah.
You get these people like I wanted to go into counselling myself, and I was talking to the lads in the vets. There are a lot of counsellors in the vets. Well, do this course, do that course, do this. I said, mate, I'm in my late 50s. I don't want to do all that. Go back to school again. It's life experience that counts, I think. And if you've been there and been through all the stresses and strains and mind fucks and all that and what have you, you can comment on it. And you know where people are coming from then. Never compare yourself to anybody.
Yeah.
Never ever compare yourself to anybody. But if you've actually been in that situation, you're qualified then to make some sort of comment, like, you know what I mean? Like, I wonder sometimes if these counsellors that you sent to, if they ever been in a situation, they're just reading it from a book. You should do this, you should do that.
Yeah, I can fully imagine that, like where you were saying before, it's just a tick list. And that's all it is, that you want to go to someone that you can relate to.
Yeah.
You want to go to someone that you can feel comfortable. So when I went to the GP, just at the Better Medical Centre at the start of the estate, I didn't get to see the actual doctor. I got to see a standing nurse. But because the way that she was with me, like every time I rang up and I wanted to talk about my stuff, I wanted to go to her and only her.
Yeah.
But she was only in like 2 or 3 days a week, and sometimes I didn't know what days. But that is like a big factor of going to someone that is either really good with you or they fucking know what it's about.
Yeah.
They've been there. They can actually relate to you. They can go, do you know what? I gone through that.
Yeah. Do you ever do this or do you ever do that? Or, and you go, yeah, and all. It's great when you can hit it off with a person.
Yeah, it's...
instantly,
It's a big, big factor in moving forward when you hit it off with someone.
Yeah.
But do you reckon it's also just as important to have someone that they might not know what's going on, so maybe...
You know straight away, I think.
In what way?
If you've been through stuff, like you've been through yourself, and you're sent to the doctors or whatever, and you start to talk to them, you know instantly whether they've got a clue what they're on about or they haven't.
Yeah, I've noticed that from body language and the tone of voice that they used with me.
Yeah.
So, like, they could just be sitting there, they could feel quite relaxed or whatever, and, like, just talking to you quite mellow. But I found that, like, maybe a little bit condescending and something like that, and more sympathy than trying to work with me.
Yeah.
Like, you've gone through that, mate.
Yeah.
That's bad. Let's see what we can do for you. Like, I don't want to see what you can do for me. I want you to actually help me with what I've actually gone through.
Yeah.
And not try and redirect me to, we've got therapy over there for that. Just walk off to that one or whatever.
Yeah.
And you might get the wrong counsellor.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's so many times where I've seen cases with kids where they'll get, like, social workers, but they're just there to tick off boxes.
Yeah.
They don't really know what that kid's going through in their home life or whatever.
Yeah. And I think, I know for a fact, since I went through all my stuff and all that, I'm the type of person that had loads of empathy anyway.
Yeah.
Now being through my stuff, that's grown by a millionfold. Got empathy with everyone. You know what I mean? He's not sitting there asking for money for nothing.
No.
On the floor. There's a reason behind it. I remember having murder on a fire truck once. A lad from out the way. And we were down at town. And he was, look at him there, scruffy. You know, begging and all that.
Yeah.
What's all that about? And I said to him, lad, you don't know what this fella's story is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a backstory to him. I ended up having a bit of murder with him, like, you know what I mean? So I tend to defend people more now. And try and see that backstory, you know what I mean?
I've noticed that a lot in myself as well. Like, mine's not always the backstory. I always try and see the good in people.
Yeah.
So I noticed that in the work I'm in, a lot of people get slated. And I'm always trying to just see, like, the good in people. Or if someone goes, they're shit at their job or whatever, or they're annoying them, or they just won't shut up, I'm just like, yeah, but they're always there.
Yeah.
Or they're always trying to support you.
Or have you spoke to them?
Yeah, it's just like there's loads of things where so many people don't know about anyone else.
See the negatives all the time.
Yeah, because does anyone know what that thing's called where you have a moment where you realise that person next to me has got their own life? Like, I know like how strange that might sound, but you could be walking down the street and go, everyone here is living their own life right now. They're going back to their own families and I'm never going to see them again. Has anyone ever experienced that before?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
all the time,
yeah, like there's times I'll sit back for a minute or if I'm driving, so, like there's a car going past, like, oh, it's a nice car, and think, what's that person do for a living? Like, who is that person?
Or I wonder where he's going.
Yeah.
Or whatever, yeah.
It's like, it's amazing that you never know who that person is next to you sometimes, or who that person is driving by you, or who's just walked past you, and you think that they could have had the exact same experience as me if you sat there and think about it deep enough. But it's like, he could have been a firefighter in a different part of the world. And he
was in the Asda by ours, Lou.
Yeah.
Just a little story, like. And I say, go to vets. And I'm with the missus. I'm walking through, and some guy walking along, he's got combats on. Long hair, beard, and all that. He's got his day sack on and all that. And to all intents and purposes, he's a down and out. Who walks past me and the missus, and this guy hardly said a word. And he went, all right, Ted, like that. I went, oh, hello, Jimmy, lad. You all right? Yeah. I just got off.
Yeah.
And she went, who's that? I said, see that fella there, Jack? I said, he was in the SAS, and he was on this and this operation, and killed this many people and all that. I said, see, you don't know who you're walking past, even in the Asda. Yeah. You know? and that's perfect example of what you're talking about. You don't know what people's lives are about, do you know what I mean?
Because like, I could have walked past you in the street, never actually seen you face to face, but spoke to you a few times on the phone and text, but not knowing like what your story is.
Yeah.
And like what you've gone through and stuff like that, and how strong you've been to come out of it.
Yeah.
Like it is.
You're never going to find out everybody's story, are you?
No, that's a lifetime work to not even get through half the world.
More than an hour, that lad.
Yeah. But it is so true though. But like, knowing you was going through everything, how many times like did you feel like lonely and stuff like that? Like, I know we touched up on it a bit before, that you've kind of felt like maybe you was a burden or whether you was a negative person, but did you ever feel times of like actual just loneliness?
Oh, not half, yeah. As we said before, you think that you're the only one in the world, the entire planet, that's having this experience and got this problem. And you become lonely with it.
Did it affect anyone? Like, that you're close to, friends, even family?
Obviously, I've got 2 daughters and my wife. And my wife's brilliant. Yeah. I can just talk to her. And my daughters are as well. Because we're a talking
family.
Huggy family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Love comes out the windows and everything, you know. And we all love each other, you know, huggy, lovey, and everything. And we talk to each other. That's
the main thing.
One of the main things that I brought out of what I've been through. But they're like that anyway, you know what I mean? But there's only so much you can say to your own family.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
You need someone out there that doesn't know too much about you to express your feelings to and all that.
Sometimes they say don't.
And then I had the feelings of burdening them, especially my wife. And she goes, Ted, you know you can talk to me. I said, yeah, but I'm burdening you, Jack. I don't want to burden you. You know, and again, it's down to realisation, isn't it? You know what I mean?
It is. As what I was going to say then is that sometimes the best conversations you can have are with strangers.
Yeah, all the time, yeah.
They're not going to judge you. You may never see them again, but they could leave you with a little something that you can carry forever.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But it's amazing though, isn't it, that you can feel like a burden to the person that you married.
Oh, no.
And like the vows that you have took and that. Yeah. And you can still feel like that.
Yeah. But we're there for each other.
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be, isn't it, really?
It is, and...
Not every marriage is perfect. None. I don't think any's perfect, like. But if you can talk to your partner about shit that's going on, you know, you're halfway there, aren't you? More than halfway there.
Your partner's going to be the first person you turn to, aren't they? Like, that's the whole point. Like, you marry your best friend that you can turn to.
But at the same time, I said before, I don't want to burden her with too much.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you reckon that she ever felt like she was burdened from you? No.
She always said to me, you're not burdening me, so that's what I'm here for.
Yeah. Then you know you've got to keep it with that one then, haven't you? I noticed that.
But there's certain things that I wouldn't say to her.
Is that like in a worrying sense?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, because that's you then protecting her as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
So I don't see any wrong in that, as long as you know the limitations that you can put to that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But one thing I noticed, that I've now got a strong relationship with my mum and dad from it.
Yeah.
So where you saying like you're all like a huggy family and stuff like that and proper love them, we're not a bad family. I wouldn't change them for the world. But we've always been like a very individual family.
Yeah.
Me 3 brothers, including me, will all be in our own room, just doing our own thing. Mum and dad have been downstairs together. We've always been like that. And like one of the biggest moments, well, 2, came from my mum and my dad, was when I was going through it. My mum came on my bed, and when I was just sat there, and she just hugged me and started crying.
Yeah.
I just burst out crying, because I've never really hugged my mum before, which I found dead weird. Like now, when I see her, like before, if any of you saw, I'll give her a hug and a kiss now.
That's too right, yeah.
Yeah.
But everyone.
Yeah. You hugged me before, like that. I came in, I told Deej about it.
Yeah.
But then, like my dad, I told him that I nearly committed suicide, and we just sat there in the kitchen. It was like a set off a film. The lights were dead low and all that. I thought, my God, there's a camera in here, isn't there?
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, like I could have took my own life, Dad, and stuff like that. I remember standing in the corner, felt like dead, enclosed in and stuff like that. And he came over and just hugged me, and I just burst out crying as well.
I think sometimes the best medicine.
It is.
Just simple things like that.
Yeah, it's just like a big relief. And then I thought, for all them years, I've never like been loving that much towards my mum and dad.
Yeah.
Me and my dad are like best mates, so we've always bounced off each other, but we've never been like a dad and lad.
Yeah.
And like my mum, I don't know why, but since them moments and what I went through has like brought out an even better relationship with them.
Yeah.
Which I never thought could get even better.
That's
until
brilliant.
I realised.
That's because of your mental health struggles.
Yeah. And they're just being me mum and dad, loving me and supporting me.
Yeah.
And me thinking, while I was going through it, that I'm being a burden on them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like some sad, mopey kid walking around, and they're probably annoyed with me.
Brilliant story, that, lad. Because I did little simple things like giving someone a hug.
Yeah.
You know, you sort of... There's something about a distant handshake, a distant floppy jellyfish handshake, that I go, you having a laugh? Come here. You know what I mean? And you sort of give the other person sort of like, oh, he's a good lad, him, and all that, like, you know.
It's like...
And don't be phony. Don't be phony. It's too much like hard work, mate.
Have you ever experienced anything like that that's made you think that?
Yeah, we all have, haven't we? We all must have. Phony him.
Yeah, it's just, you just want people to just be real, but you just be straight up.
That's what I was saying before. Yeah,
that's all you need to be with people.
It's refreshing.
It is refreshing. Yeah. It's rewarding as well, because then you then respect that person more, and then you're more yourself around them.
And you know you can be yourself around. You should be able to be yourself around anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's too many people put on a face, don't they?
Yeah.
Like that. And especially when it comes down to mental health. Yeah. People put on a brave face.
And it's because that you've been through the stuff that you have, that you realise these things.
Yeah.
I always think, if I hadn't been through all this troubles, shall we say, all this stuff, would I be a phony? I've never been phony, ever, in my life. But being through what you've been through, and yourself included, and you included probably as well, you sort of, it's refreshing. I'm glad I went through that and got through it, because it's made me a better person.
Yeah, that's what it is. You've got essentially, what was it? It was The Rock, and he said that sometimes I'll feel backed up against the wall, but then I know my only way is forward.
Yeah.
So I've gone all the way back.
Yeah.
But I need to get there now.
Yeah.
So no matter what I do, it's got to get me there, because if I go any further back, then I'm going through more shit.
Yeah.
And it's always really stuck with me that.
Yeah.
That I sometimes need to back myself up against the wall because there's nowhere else to run. I have to fight back.
One of my mates used to say to me, he said, I've got to get to my lowest that I possibly can, and know that there's only one way, and that's up.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to him, no, you haven't. I said, if you realise that you're going in that direction in the first instance, then do something about it.
Yeah.
Stop it in its tracks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was just going to say something to add on to there, which was quite interesting. When you do find yourself in a bit of a spot, someone told me once it was a bit of like a catapult. So you're pulling yourself back, well, the place that you're in is pulling you back.
Yeah.
But really, it's like a further projection forward.
Yeah.
You're gonna propel yourself forward at a bigger, faster rate and go further than what you could have thought you could have.
Yeah.
Okay,
which I think is quite a good
analogy.
Yeah.
There's a podcaster called Chris Williamson, does Modern Wisdom. It might not completely relate to it, but in my head it does. But he's saying that, if I can get this right, for situations to get better, they need to be in a much worse place. So if you was to go somewhere for a mile, you would walk. But if you were to go 2 miles, you'd take a car, like that. So when I first did that, I was thinking, what are you on about, lad? But then he went on about, when people are in jobs, if it's kind of all right, they'll stay in it. Like, they'll stay in the job, it's not too bad, I can get by. But if it gets worse, then that's where you then take action.
Yeah.
So things have got to be in a worse situation for you to then take action. So relating back to me, I was kind of content in my job because a decent pay, it was most pay I've been on, stuff like that. And that's what kept me there. I said, I'm only going to be here. I think, what did I say? I think I said, I'm only going to be in this job for 3 months, because that's what the contract was when I started in July 2018. I was there for 3 years.
Yeah.
It's one there. But I needed things to get super bad for me to then go forward.
Yeah.
And now I look and think, I'm in a job that I love. Started the podcast. Moved out. Like, one thing I said to these, big thing for me, I'm driving now. That was like a big factor.
Yeah.
Got myself a beautiful girlfriend that I love.
Yeah.
Got a dog the other week. And it's like, I don't think any of them ever would have happened if I never went into this shit. So
well, that's it.
Yeah, so that's the catapult that I'm trying to relate to there, Joe. Everything's got to come really bad to me to then go... Phew.
And that thing about the lad saying, my mate saying, I've got to get to the depths of below, when I know there's only one... I know then there's only one way I can go, is up. So, all right, I'll give you that in the first instance.
Yeah.
Later on, if you find yourself going that way, and then say you're halfway down and you go, I'm going to end up down here on the floor, and you know how bad that feels.
Yeah.
Why not try and do something halfway down so you don't get that bad, and then start travelling up? That was my question to him, sort of thing.
Did he have an answer for it?
No, he didn't. He didn't, to be honest.
Yeah. How long ago was that? Because then, if that was quite some time ago, and have you spoke to him since, and now he's maybe found that halfway point where he doesn't have to go all the way down?
I haven't mentioned it really. That was just a passing sort of conversation sort of thing, you know what I mean? That was a few years ago when we used to sit up till all hours playing cards in the fucking fire service and all that. It was a great place like that, you could just sit off and just talk shit about anything. And that was a form of counselling as well. Yeah. Because someone had, I was there the other day and I didn't feel and talk about your feelings and all that. That's what I said to you before. We were all supposed to be big hairy ass firefighters that never talked about no feelings or come on, let's just get on with it and all that. But you go, hang on a minute. Let's take time out here. But yeah, so getting back to my mate and all that, it was just a conversation that we had. And we had loads of them conversations, like. But I haven't really took him to task on, like, have you ever reached the halfway point and decided to go up? That was a good few years ago, that. And a lot of stuff's happened since then, like,
Would you reckon that the first time that anyone goes through it, they might need to hit that rock bottom because they know what the steps are, going down, and the signs and how they're feeling, what the life's like, that they need to hit that rock bottom. So then in future, then when they are going down in a spiral again, they can go, all right, I know what this stage is right now before I get to there, so I can bounce back. Yeah. So do you reckon the question is, everyone needs to hit rock bottom first to then get...
Well, not necessarily, because as I was just saying to you earlier on, it's how quick you realise something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I didn't realise that something was wrong when I wasn't sleeping for 6 months,
Yeah.
God knows how deep had I gone, like, you know what I mean? But I realised, and I wonder, was that the depth for me? Was that the bottom for me?
Yeah.
And then I realised what to do, or could I have gone deeper if I didn't realise what to do? You know what I mean? That's a question for you, isn't it?
Have you ever thought what might have happened if you did go deeper? Because I think that myself about my own situation quite a lot.
No, because I seem to put all negative stuff out the way now.
Yeah.
Like,
Good.
at the time, you mean?
Maybe at the time or not long after it. So you could have had that moment of realisation. You thought, I'm going the opposite direction now. I'm going to get better because this is not happening anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of days or weeks after you did realise. Do you think, and look back, wonder what happened if I didn't take that step? If I did maybe go a bit deeper.
I know you're going a bit deeper than me now.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about, but no, because by that time, I'd made a decision about getting help and all that. Like, so I was trying to look on the positive of everything.
Yeah.
Trying to leave that behind.
Good.
You know, process it, sort of thing.
Do you still have struggles today of like processing? Or like maybe like a bit of a spiral? Because I notice I do sometimes.
Well, I think it was Churchill that used to say, and I hate Churchill, can't stand him. But he used to call it the black dog.
Yeah.
The black dog has appeared. And that's like you're having a little bit of trouble upstairs, you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, nothing's perfect. I do sometimes. You have a little bit of a moment, or a little bit of a week.
Yeah.
Something like that, like, you know. And you've got to remain in that moment and realise that I'm having a moment here.
Yeah.
Let's stay with it. Let it pass, because it will pass. Let it pass. All right, I'm over it now.
Yeah.
And away you go again.
It's just embracing it, isn't it?
Yeah.
If that's all, I know what's going on here, but I'm not going to panic over it.
No,
I'm not going to worry.
It's like feeling sad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sad. I said, we lost my ma last month.
Yeah.
So I was sad. So let yourself be sad. All this business about, stay strong and all of that, I don't believe in that. Stay strong. Be what you are, yourself. You know?
Because like, there's times where a sense of relief doesn't need to happen, where you're saying about like being sad. So if my girlfriend ever cries kind of thing, or like something quite big, and she tries to like hold it back, because to be fair, I'm one of them when I'll say to her, the situation's not that bad, so I don't feel like you need to cry, because we can fix this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now, it might not be good kind of thing, all that, but I'm trying to like be strong to make her strong kind of thing. So it's like, no, we can do this, we can get through this, come on, we don't need to cry. But there's times where she is really down and she'll try and not cry, because the way I've been with her in the past, and I've never tried to do it in a negative way, but I'll go to her, no, cry, get her out. Don't try and hold back.
Yeah.
Like, and there's times where I've done it with her, where she's hugged me, where I've had a cry.
Yeah.
And it is just, let her out.
Yeah.
Embrace this emotion.
Just be.
Yeah. Like,
Be
when
what
people
you
are happy, they go all out, oh my God, I'm happy, to telling everyone they're happy and stuff like that. But when they're sad, they try and hold it back. It's like, sad's a big emotion that we go through.
Be what you feel.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Like,
That is literally
stay in the moment and then let it pass.
So, what advice would you give to people, though, other than be in the moment, to deal with stuff like that? Or to deal with their mental health issues and stuff?
As I said to you before, if someone comes to me with mental health issues, I'd talk to them until the cows come home. But what I would say to them is, I can't fix you. No one can fix you except yourself.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you forever. We'll talk about stuff, what's going on with you. But I'll signpost you also. I know people that can do this for you. I know people that can do that for you.
Yeah.
And it's all about having information to hand. You know what I mean? I've got this phone number. Get in touch with them. Or do you want me to get in touch with them? Yeah. I'll take you there. you know, depending on how extreme the problem is and what have you.
Yeah.
But just the talking for me.
How many people do you reckon you've done that for? A few.
Good few, yeah.
All men as well.
Yeah. Especially the horses stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've sent about 8 firefighters to the horses stuff.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, I don't know if it's changed their lives, but it's actually changed their state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's so rewarding. That, like, you know.
Because would you say, and I know you're probably going to say no, but just so we can then go further, would you say one thing helped you, or it had to be numerous things?
Numerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. As much as I could get, as we talked to.
Yeah.
I want help. Give me as much as you've got, and I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'm
because you were
open
saying
to it.
before, where you're like, I was going to this, I was going to that, I
Yeah.
was going to this. It's like, do you think that too many people just try and find one thing and they go, oh, that hasn't worked, that can't be cured?
Yeah.
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 How do we change that? Like,
I don't know.
you get people that want to be sad, they want to just stay where they are, like
Dementors, mate.
Yeah.
Because they go to where you are, and they suck the positivity out of you, and just fill you with negativity.
Yeah.
And then when they go, you're like, oh, and they'll go, see you later, lad, I'm getting off.
yeah.
Thanks for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, see, because there's been so many times I've said in the past that people want to stay sad and people want to stay in the same place and they don't want to get better, and I've never understood why.
Why? Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know what to say. I've always worked in jobs. So I've worked in McDonald's, worked in Revolution, but that was fine. So Mackey's, the own bargain warehouse, and now the school that I'm in. And people always moan. Always
mate.
complain. And like it gets to the point now where if someone moans, I either don't talk to them, or I'm like, I don't want to hear you talk about it. Like, I'll just tell them straight, I go, don't, just shut up. Why are you sitting there slating someone? Why are you sitting there moping about it? Like, let's actually do something about it and try and give them like a bit of positive enforcement, whether you can go, oh fucking hell, like a reality check.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to sit around and mope all day.
Yeah.
People sit there on fucking Facebook and they all sit there and rant.
Challenge them.
Yeah.
You know,
people
engage. Go, why are you miserable?
Yeah.
Oh, what do you mean I'm miserable? What I say?
Yeah.
Why are you miserable?
Mm-hmm.
What have you got to... Not what have you got to be miserable about, that's the wrong question, because everyone's got something to be miserable about. You know, why are you so negative, like, you know, my daughters, you're so neggy. But, yeah, there is so many negative people out there.
I feel like a lot of them negative people, though, are going through very basic things. And I could be completely wrong on this.
Yeah.
But they could be going through a lot of basic things that
Life.
everyone just encounters. Yeah, it's life. You've got to just get over them hurdles.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm in a bit of debt. A lot of people in a bit of debt. Okay, how are you going to get out of it? You're going to get a second job.
Yeah.
You're going to change job. You're going to look to start a side business. Yeah. Oh, my car's broke. Get the bus.
Yeah.
Get a walk somewhere. Something like that. There's always simple things that you're always going to come across.
There's always a solution.
Yeah, there's always solutions.
Yeah.
And you're always going to come across them things.
And the thing as well, Lou, I can imagine it to be hard graft, being a negative person.
It is.
Proper hard graft.
Don't they say it takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Simply little things like that. That's it in a nutshell, basically.
Yeah, so it takes more energy to
More
be
hard
negative.
work to be,
yeah.
than just to be... We can't be happy all the time about everything.
Because we need to feel a lot of different types of emotions.
Yeah.
It's like a lifeline. If you see like whatever in films, if it's like that, you're dead. But if it's up and down, you're experiencing life. You got downs, but you appreciate the ups.
Of course you have, yeah.
But it is mental though. And do you think that's ingrained in humans though, for us to be like that? Because if you see someone walking down the street and they're quite happy, everyone looks at them and goes, fucking hell, what are they happy about? But if you see someone like walking down the street, like a bit of a face on them, you just think, oh, maybe them.
Yeah.
You don't think too much about it.
No.
But if you see someone that's actually happy and like having a laugh or whatever, you think it catches your eye more like, wow, what are they doing?
Yeah. Get you locked up if you start walking around smiling all day.
Yeah. People think you're crazy.
Yeah.
But one thing I did want to ask you, it was earlier on, but I never actually got time to ask it, but I'll just come back to it. Who did you find talking to, besides your wife, helped you the most? Because everyone always goes to the partners, don't they? And they always see the partners out. You don't have to name them, or it could be a group or whatever. It could be the therapy.
Friends at work and the help that I went to receive. Mm-hmm. That helped me because I was open to it. I keep saying that, I know.
Yeah.
Because I was open to it and I wanted to tell my story.
Yeah.
That made them understand where I was.
Mm.
And they battered stuff back to me, which I was happy with, like, you know what I mean?
Because, like, after everything we spoke about so far, it proper does seem like that. You've gone through a lot, but you've also received so much help as well, and you've accepted so much help, and you seem a lot lighter.
Yeah.
Like the way you are right now, and obviously I don't know you in the past, but that's like the vibe that you give off.
Yeah, yeah.
Would you ever go down the route of helping people more on a permanent basis?
I'd love to.
Yeah.
That's been one of my aims, to be honest with you, Luke. But as I said, to get anywhere now, you need qualifications. So for me to talk to someone about their mental health, I need a piece of paper saying I can do it. Yeah,
and that's one of the shit things.
But life experiences just goes along, knocks everything else out the water for me.
It does. Have you ever heard of? I've never really looked on too much. I just know of it. I think it's only on by Breck Road as well. Sean's place. You ever heard of that?
No.
Oh, I'll send you like a link to it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they're like a charity or an organisation for men's mental health. Yeah. And I think they're looking to be quite big. So maybe that could be something that you do look into. Yeah. I don't know if you need qualifications. I haven't, like I said, I haven't looked into it that much, but I think that there are places. But what's stopping you from doing your own thing? Starting up your own thing of like mental health?
But again, it'd be qualifications, wouldn't it? What qualifies you to be able to talk to them about
what I'm saying is, it's your thing. Like, you've started it, you don't need anything. You could essentially be the boss or whatever. Yeah.
What, like you're doing now?
Yeah, in a sense. Yeah.
What's stopping me? Nothing, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just got to get up and do it, haven't you? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Because, like, what's a normal day in the life right now for you? You wake up, good start to the day.
Yeah, that's a good start, isn't it? As late as possible. No, I'm only messing it. It's normal stuff, like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just normal stuff. Nothing extraordinary, like, you know. The house needs doing, like, decorating and all that, so I'll get down to that one day. The sooner the better, she says. But anyway, it's just normal stuff, really, mate. Yeah.
Could you not look to start? Because obviously, I know, like you said, you're not big with like social media, technology and that.
No.
But would you not look to get started? Maybe start an Instagram page. Like what I said, our mate who's done this, he's got like 60,000 followers. And that book, from what he said, has saved someone's life.
Yeah.
And all he does, he just reads books, takes quotes, and puts them on Instagram.
I'd have to get advice on how to do it, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd love to go down that road, you know? To do something the same, not exactly the same, obviously, because your mate's got it, like, you know what I mean? Something similar. That Instagram stuff and all that.
And that doesn't require a single qualification.
Thought of the day or something like that.
It could be. It could be something as simple as that. I think you'd actually be good at it, you know. I really do.
Do you get wedged for it?
You can do, can't you, off Insta? you can be paid off like social media. I feel like you'll know about this job.
Well, I was going to say, I think Jay, with the Peaceful Book, he literally just started by putting quotes into his notes. So, you know, like, throughout the day.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was reading a lot of stuff as well, but it was kind of just like thoughts that would come into his head that was kind of just pure natural, that he knew was going to have like a bit of a positive influence on his own life. But the more he started writing them down, and like he just started an Instagram page and just called it the Peaceful Page.
Yeah.
Wasn't like too much thought that had gone really into it. And then he was just doing it every day, just because he had like a little, I don't know, like let's just say 10. It was just there ready. So he had like 10 days worth of just a quote.
Yeah.
And then over time, he was getting like quite some big followers, like reposting his stuff and liking his stuff, and he was literally seeing the influence that he was having.
Because didn't he get Jay Shetty?
Yeah, I think there was some
Jay Shetty is like a really big... What would his niche be, Jay Shetty?
Self-help,
Yeah, self-help and all that, but he's got like millions and millions of followers.
He's also had one of the Kardashians repost one of his.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And he's just a normal lad, like just one of us, isn't he?
Yeah, he's only from Everton as well.
Yeah.
Went to school with him. He's just a really good lad. He's got a good story if he ever wants to come on.
Yeah.
If he wants to watch. He's cracking lad, Jay. But
oh, we're itching to get you on, lad. That'll be up.
But one thing I did want to ask, and I want to know your opinion, and I realised, why do you think we struggle so much to speak as men, even in today's world, where people push mental health so much?
I think it's still a stigma to talk about mental health, especially for men, because we're seen to be, well, we are the alpha male sort of thing. Like, you know, we're supposed to be in charge. Goes back to when I was a fireman. You're supposed to be big hairy ass fireman. You don't cry. You don't do this. You don't do that. But hang on, you do, sort of thing. Why? No, I just think there's still a stigma attached to mental health. Yeah, honestly.
Considering how much mental health is now getting pushed in the world, especially like the last year or two.
Lots more.
You see it everywhere, but there's still that. I can't talk to anyone. Even though, you know, there's places to go.
There are people
after this, people might know that there's more therapies and that out there. Because even I didn't know, and I'm quite big on it.
Yeah.
But it is interesting. Did you two have an answer for that? To that question? Or do you want to repeat it?
Yeah, go on.
Why do you think we struggle so much as men, even in today's world, to talk about mental health?
Do you think it's just like a lot of maybe social pressure or things build up inside you and you don't know how other people are going to react to what you've got to say? Maybe obviously there's some things that you've been through, and how do you relate that to somebody and how do you actually process it? Like you were saying before, you've got to actually process it yourself, otherwise it can take a burden on you.
Yeah.
So definitely open up to people.
Yeah.
But how is it so difficult?
Yeah.
Why is it so difficult?
Because one always stands out to me is, do you watch the UFC by any chance?
No.
No, so are you into Paddy the Baddy though? Paddy yeah. So how long ago was it when Paddy done his thing, when he done his speech after his fight? Because he said he lost his mate, didn't he, very recently?
Yeah.
I think it was last year.
Yeah, because he was saying about, like, we need to start speaking out and all that.
Yeah. And he said himself, I'd rather me mate cry on my shoulders than go and visit his grave.
Yeah.
Or go to his funeral.
Yeah. And it's like, it's mad, isn't it? Like, that's the stage that mental health got to.
Yeah.
And he's screaming it to the heavens there.
Well, people obviously need to be made aware of there is help out there.
Yeah.
You're not on your own. That's the big message from me. Like, you're not on your own. Feel alone, just get in touch with this fella here.
This fella here.
Get on the pod.
Yeah, got a few bookings available left, like when they're fully booked for the year. I feel like, you know, not gonna lie, I feel like we've touched up on everything that you've originally wanted to speak about.
Well, but saying, like, it sort of flows, doesn't it?
Yeah, because we've bounced between things and that, and it all just fell into place, and we might have recapped on those things. But is there anything else literally that you want to talk about, or is there anything that we haven't covered? Because we've still got plenty of time. No. But there's no pressure to do it either.
Well, how long have we been on now?
How long have we had?
20.
Hour and 20 minutes. Yeah.
No, I think that's about it.
You happy with that?
Yeah.
It's fine. Well, I'm not going to lie, Ted, it's actually been one of the best conversations I've had. Never mind being on a podcast, like, I've actually proper enjoyed this, you know. It's been really good. Yeah. And you know what? Thank you for coming on, seriously.
Cheers, mate, for having me.
Yeah. Have you got any questions that you might want to bang out before we finish up?
Maybe just if anybody wanted to, like, reach out to you, if anyone wanted any of that help of, like, if you know,
the different therapies.
Or the therapies, the horse therapy and stuff.
Yeah.
The types. Yeah. If there's anywhere where people could contact or reach out, or...
Well, I'd say contact you and contact me then, sort of thing.
Yeah, you can do, because what I can do, we can, after this, we'll find out the different therapies and find, like, links to them.
Yeah.
And then when this goes up on, like, YouTube, you can have links underneath it.
Yeah.
You can just leave that there for them so people can click it down. But if people ever did want to contact yourself, obviously I'd ask you first. But that's fine. Any more? No, I'm all out as well, I'm not going to lie. Ted, thank you for coming on, seriously.
Thanks, Lou. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
So, lads.
Cheers, lads.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Right.